With recent updates to Blackboard, the way in which instructors accommodate their DSPS students' testing needs has changed. This tutorial will show you how you can give DSPS students more time on a test. So it used to be that the process involved making a duplicate copy of the test, changing the duration of that copy, and then making that copy available to your DSPS students using adaptive release. That's no longer necessary. I'm going to click the Edit the Test options of this test here. And here's where you'll notice that the test options page screen has been updated with a section labeled Test Availability Exceptions. It's in this section now that we'll be handling the DSPS accommodations. So to give my DSPS students more time on a test, I click the Add User or Group button in the Test Availability Exceptions area. This will open up a list of all the students enrolled in my class and the groups as well. And I just select the names by checking the box next to my students' names. Check the names of my DSPS students and click Submit. The settings that get set here for these three exceptions are the same as the settings that I've got already set up for this test. Now these are exceptions though, so there'll be a change that I want to make here. And in the case of DSPS students, I want to give them more time on this test. So let's say 60 minutes instead of the 20 minutes that everyone else is getting. And that's it. I hit Submit, and that's all there is to giving my DSPS students more time on a test, right? But I want to show you an alternative solution if you have several DSPS students or you have several tests. So let me go back into my test options page. I'm going to remove all those exceptions that I did. And you'll see that I can also add user or group. So let me scroll down, and I've got a DSPS students group added here. So what if I were to submit that? I can, for all the students in my DSPS group at one time, give them more time on the test with just making that change once. That might be helpful if you've got lots of DSPS students or if you've got lots of tests in your class. You might be able to save some time by using this group option instead. Now, I created this DSPS group in my course and I assigned students to it before starting this recording. So if you want to use this DSPS group option in this new exceptions area, then you'll have to do the same in your course. Create a DSPS group and assign the DSPS students to that group. So if you're interested in using this group option, then stick with me here. If you're good with adding your students, your DSPS students individually to the test as exceptions, then that's totally fine, and you can stop listening now if you want. But let me talk briefly about groups for those of you who think that it might save you some time in your courses. So groups, you'll find this to be pretty quick, I think. We're going to take a quick detour. Let me remove this group that I've added. And let's take a quick detour. I'll submit my changes. Down to the control panel, under Users and Groups, open up Groups. Now we just need to create one single group, and we're going to manually enroll them as the instructor of the course. So we're going to manually enroll our DSPS students into this group. So I want to select Manual Enroll under Create Single Group. I'm going to give it a name. And I want to make my group available, make sure that's set to yes. And I'm going to uncheck all the tools under tool availability because this group is not being created for the purpose of giving them shared tools. So I'm going to uncheck those tools there. I want to also uncheck allow personalization. And now all I have to do under membership is select the name of my DSPS student and click the arrow to move the students to my selected items list. And if I've got multiple students, I'm just individually selecting the names of my DSPS students and assigning them as members to this group. And I click Submit. Okay, so now I've created the new group, my new DSPS group. So let's go back to that test, Edit Test Options, back to that Test Availability Exceptions area, Add User or Group, and now I'll see my new group listed here. I check the box next to my group and I hit Submit. And now I can change the timer for that one group of students. And I can use this same group in all of my tests. So that might save you time if you have a lot of tests or a lot of DSPS students. Now let's submit this, and let's say you get another email from a student who needs accommodations for your tests. So rather than going into each of your tests and adding them as an exception to each test individually, all you do is one time you go back into your group, open up your DSPS group and say Edit, scroll down to the membership area and find the name of the student who's just written to you and add them to the DSPS group and submit. So there in one step, you've given that one student more time for those tests. So these test availability exceptions are new to the test options page. Again, edit the test options, test availability exceptions. You can add them as individual users or you can add them as groups. I wanted to show you that group option in case it saves you some time in your course, but you certainly have the option there. So that's a change in the process for accommodating our DSPS students. Hopefully you find that it's a change for the better. No more duplicate tests, no more dealing with the duplicated DSPS columns in your grade center. This tutorial covered how you can give your DSPS students more time on a test.